Okay, woo-wee. Welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for Demetrious Johnson versus Joseph Benavidez 2, which was UFC on Fox. Which was a UFC on Fox card. Really good card overall. Pretty predictable. I'm 3-1 on who I predicted would win these matches on the main card. Yeah, so let's get started with the main event for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World. Demetrious Johnson defending his belt for the third time. In this case it was Joseph Benavidez he had to defend the belt against. Yeah, this was his third title defense overall, and it's a 125-pound division. Demetrious Johnson, he knocked out Joseph Benavidez in just 2 minutes and 8 seconds in round 1. Yeah, this is the only fight on the main card I was wrong about. I thought Joseph Benavidez would be knocking out Demetrious Johnson. I didn't know Demetrious Johnson had that knockout power. He hasn't knocked anyone out for quite a while. And Joseph Benavidez, he's won quite a few matches in recent memory with knockout, especially training with Dwayne Bang Ludwig. So that's why I picked Joseph Benavidez to win this match by knockout within the first umpteen rounds. But yeah, Demetrious Johnson, he stole the show with that flashy knockout. It was really mesmerizing knockout. Yeah, Demetrious Johnson did a good job, and Demetrious Johnson is a great champion in the flyweight division for sure now. He cemented his status, I believe. And yeah, the match was only 2 minutes and 8 seconds, so that sums up the whole match. Not a whole lot to say about that match, but I'm a big fan of both. I hope Joseph Benavidez gets back on track. And then in the co-main event, we had a bantamweight bout with Uriah Faber and Michael McDonald. Yeah, this was one I was right about. Uriah Faber, he submitted guillotine choke round 2 Michael McDonald. I thought that Uriah Faber would win by decision, maybe knockout. But I knew Uriah Faber would probably pull it off because Uriah Faber is on a tear right now, and he's undefeated in non-title matches in the UFC. So he's looking pretty good, and I think Uriah Faber should get the next shot at Dominic Cruz or Renan Barão, whoever is the undisputed bantamweight champion after the February pay-per-view fight card. Yeah, so Uriah Faber, good job. I'm also a big Michael McDonald fan, but yeah, I was right about Uriah Faber winning this. He won in impressive fashion. Round 2 guillotine choke. Really impressive, especially Michael McDonald. He's a prodigy. He was on a tear, and he's a real young kid. A lot of speed, good, fast, quick hands. And I'm sure Michael McDonald will be back on track in no time. He's a young guy, has his fight career ahead of him. Uriah Faber, they say he's getting up there in age. He's not that old. But yeah, Uriah Faber, he definitely earned his title shot now as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so he should get the winner of Renan Barão and Dominic Cruz. Then, in the featherweight division on the main card, we have Chad Money Mendes versus Nick Lentz. Yeah, this was a bad matchup for Nick Lentz. I wanted Nick Lentz to win so bad. I don't mind Chad Mendes, but yeah, Chad Mendes, he won by unanimous decision. I thought for sure Chad Mendes will win this either by unanimous decision or knockout. But yeah, I guess Chad Mendes wasn't feeling well, and thus he wasn't able to really land the clean shots he needed to get the knockout. But he did win. He won fair and square. He got more dominant positions, more takedowns, and Nick Lentz, he is still a good featherweight. I'm sure he'll win his next umpteen matches. Nick Lentz has great wrestling, some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills, and I think Nick Lentz, if anything, needs to work on his striking to get back on track, and then he can really crack that top 10. But yeah, Chad Money Mendez, he's on a tear now, and there's so many great featherweight fighters out there that should be getting a title shot. The winner of Ricardo Lamas and Jose Aldo, and yeah, Chad Mendes is definitely one of them. So yeah, good job Chad Mendes, won by unanimous decision. Then to kick off the main card, we had a lightweight bout with Joe Lauzon versus Mac Danzig. Yeah, Joe Lauzon, I figured he would win by either submission or unanimous decision, and he won. And yeah, Mac Danzig, he's well-rounded, but it's just you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but Mac Danzig, like, he needs to go to like Bellator or something. I mean, I like Mac Danzig, but he hasn't been able to hang in the UFC, in the upper echelon of the UFC. And Joe Lauzon, he's good enough to be in the UFC for sure. Be champion, hard to say, but yeah, it was a good win for Joe Lauzon. A good fight for him to get back on track after losing to Michael Johnson by unanimous decision, and now he wins by unanimous decision against Mac Danzig. And yeah, Mac Danzig did a good job avoiding getting submitted, but yeah, Joe Lauzon, I figured he would either win by unanimous decision or submission, and well, he won by unanimous decision. It was a good fight. It obviously went the distance, and Joe Lauzon, he got dominant positions, landed more clean shots. And yeah, that wraps up the main card post-fight for UFC on Fox. Demetrius Johnson versus Joseph Benavidez Part 2. Yeah, it was a great card, enjoyed it. It was borderline pay-per-view caliber for sure. And stay tuned for my next episode, which will be a pre-fight episode for UFC 168. Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva Part 2. And also the co-main event is Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate Part 2. So, until then, see ya.